Have you guys noticed that most of the Spider-Man villains are all based on animals?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of
that's
the
a thing.
point.
Yeah.
It's kind of Amazing Spider-Man 2 had a lot crammed into it, and one of them is a pretty big spoiler if you're not a comic book fan. So if you haven't seen Amazing Spider-Man 2, please stop watching this video. So one of the big things that happens in this movie is the death of Gwen Stacy. Vegas, how did you feel about this scene?
I mean, as you said before, if you're a comic book fan, you know this is coming because Gwen Stacy's only claim to fame in the Spider-Man comics is really just dying to the Green Goblin. Whoa! Not true at all! That's the only thing most people who don't read comic books intently know her for.
Fair enough.
So, I was saying I wasn't too surprised by it, but I didn't like the way they filmed it in the scene because as we mentioned in our review, it was sort of like it happened, he died, he goes, no, and then he decides to stop being Spider-Man for 6 months, and then he comes back 6 months later, which kind of draws a lot of the emotional impact out, but I feel like you needed that for the other films. So it just kind of seemed like they wanted to have this emotional, gut-wrenching impact, but they didn't quite have the future in mind to really follow through on it.
Yeah, as a not really avid comic book fan, I was saddened when I saw it. And then, like you said, like the ending was just kind of thrown off, like how they didn't like address it as much as I thought that a main character dying would need. But then now I'm excited, like what are they going to do from the third movie, you know? And Sinister 6 and Venom coming out, like is Mary Jane going to be in any of those, or like how are they going to do that? Since I'm not familiar, then I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, Gwen Stacy might be my favorite Spider-Man love interest. And I felt that the way that they handled that scene was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it took a lot of inspiration from the comics, even right down to the wardrobe, and the clock when they zoomed out was the issue number where Gwen died. And I thought that was a pretty cool touch. But the scene itself was full of such emotion. And I mean, like, I thought Tom was going to burst out crying.
I did tear up.
Yeah. Like, it was highly emotional. Like, for me, it was like Toy Story 3 emotional. Like, and the fact that, you know, they were dating in real life added to the chemistry. Like, holy crap, like, what would you do in that situation if you were Andrew Garfield?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it was, you know, it's obviously very different from how it is handled in the comics, but I think they did it justice completely. I'm sure people are divided on, you know, when he spins the web and it becomes a hand. I love that. That was the point when the tears started, because I was like, oh my god, because I knew it was coming. Like you said, the wardrobe. Right. If you're a comic book fan like that, you know that's happening. But I was completely denying it. You know, I was kind of like, it's not happening. This is not happening, and it was happening. And I thought that it was deftly handled, and it was very, very emotional. And when she hits the ground, dude, when she hits the ground. That is rough.
I thought it would be interestingly ironic where, you know, he has the webs of the I love you on the bridge and then she gets hung on those webs. I thought that would have been a nice touch.
How morbid.
Jeez.
Well, one of the other things that's kind of in this movie is a little tease at the end of who is going to be in the lineup for the Sinister 6 movies. We have Vulture, Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Kraven the Hunter, the Rhino, and then people say Mysterio, but it definitely seems Chameleon, because it's a mask with smoke coming out of it.
Right.
If it was a bowl, Mysterio. If it's that mask, it's...
But they're changing a lot of things, like Electro completely looks, you know, different, and I think, like, a fishbowl on screen would kind of look ridiculous. So if they're going for the Mysterio mask, I mean, that's probably more likely. Though I wouldn't mind either, Chameleon.
I think
Mysterio.
Chameleon would be a more interesting villain to have.
Agree.
You think visually? I think Mysterio...
No, I think plot-wise
it would be, but visually it'd be fun to see Mysterio kind of
that would be cool.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I definitely think that would be cool, but I think there's so many kind of larger-than-life villains already with Doc Ock and Vulture and everything that I think that the Chameleon is... And Kraven as well are kind of the
Keep it more grounded.
Yeah.
Keep it more grounded, exactly. For more on The Amazing Spider-Man 2, stay here on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/PFM channel. Go to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, or you can just go to all those things via pretentiousfilmmajors.com.
Cut to one. It will cut to one.
Oh, okay, all right.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, all right. It's an octopus.